The Buffalo Sabres made a trade. Lyubushkin goes to the Anaheim Ducks, basically a salary dump for them. I actually like that defenseman for Anaheim. They need as many NHL quality players as they can get. But you look at the Sabres now, Frank. I think they're a very competitive team. I think they're going to be a playoff competitive team for sure. And they got a lot of cap space. And there's a gentleman out there who is from the Buffalo area, who is recovering from surgery, who will sign a contract during the season at some point. There's no team. If the Bruins are competitive and Patrick Kane wants to go home, the Bruins are they are set up for it financially as well as a team, on the ice. You're Patrick Kane and say, hey, you come here, you can play with Tage Thompson. That's pretty enticing.
Oh, I love the Sabres. I love everything that they're doing. I think it's this year, the step is get into the playoffs. 1 year from now, it's Stanley Cup contender mode from the East. I think they're as well set up as any to be able to take that run. You see the growth that you're going to get this year from Power and Dahlin after 2 really good years last year. Whew. I look at that team and I see the Twin Towers on the blue line, Tage Thompson up front, Dylan Cousins and his continued really strong play. And by the way, Jeff Skinner, I know he's not $9 million. That's really not, that contract doesn't fit him, but he did have 35 goals and 82 points last year.
No. Hey, Skinner had a very, very
the last 2 years
year.
He's been really good.
Yes,
68 goals in 2 years. I don't hate that deal. And just I can't say enough good things about where the Sabres are at. Allow Devin Levi to continue to grow. He's your future number 1. And by the way, need to give a little shout out as well. Speaking of some news in the last week, Rick Jeanneret, an absolute titan of the industry, and his calls, whether it's Mayday or
La Fontaine,
or Top Shelf, where Mama hides the cookies, it's those calls are going to live on forever, and it's really cool. I don't know if do you have a bubble hockey in your house?
I do not.
But he does. I have one in my basement here, and when my kids play and they have friends over and they play, he does the play-by-play on the bubble hockey. So when you score, he'll say, Top Shelf, where Mama hides the cookie. It'll live on in my basement forever.
Oh, man. And I had the chance to meet Rick a few times. He was just an awesome dude. And I remember, it was funny. You talk to a lot of the Sabre players. I've got to know Brad May quite well the last few years. And I remember when we say, hey, Mayday, everybody calls him that still. And he was just it gives him chills just listening to that call again. And how could you not? It was a great play, number 1. Mm-hmm. But then you throw in the goal call afterwards. And then, if you ask Sabre fans, I'd love to know what their top 3 Rick Jeanneret goal calls are. If you could only give 3, what are your top 3? Sabre fans, let us know at Jason Gregor, at Frank Seravalli. I'd be very curious, man, because there's so many awesome ones at different times.
No doubt. An absolute titan.
Yeah. So lived a great full life, 81 years of age. And obviously, they'll have a special presentation for him this upcoming season at some point, you would think, or the RJ decal on his helmet, something like that. He meant a lot to that organization and to the community. You got to remember, when Rick was starting out, Frank, there just wasn't as many avenues to hear and watch a game. Mm-hmm. Right. And so your play-by-play guy in a lot of cases was the connection to the team for a lot of fans.
Yep. There's only a few from that era that you'll remember forever, and he's certainly one of them.